being ACN super troopers, people that are out in the world making a difference no matter what the day. You know, for some people, today is the day that it's not a good results, the election results that have them climbing back into their cave. And yet that is not the day to be doing things. For other people, they're celebrating. And that's awesome. As long as you're out in the world loving on people, you never know what the next person that you talk with, how they're going to be feeling. Get in their world, find out what's going on in their life, find out what moves, touches, and inspires them, what makes them alive. And that's how we want to be responding to everybody, no matter what the day is. And so I'm really honored to lead this call today. I'm Cheryl Good, coming out of Corvallis, Oregon, and honored to lead this group of folks forward in advanced customer training. We're a group of individuals that are motivated to take our lives to the next level. We're getting services people use every day. We're creating passive incomes out of that, and we're teaching other people how to do that. And that's the joy that we get to do, because we get to work with people. So this morning we have a couple of things that we have exciting things going on in Oregon, by the way, because we have a huge event this weekend with Regional Vice President Megan Williams coming from us from Ohio. And we have lots of events here in Oregon. And so we're excited about that. But as we're out there, it's all about getting customers. And today we're going to be focusing on Vivint home security. And I have an expert we're going to be bringing on a call in just a little bit. But I wanted to talk a little bit just briefly around the mindset of customer acquisition this morning, because when we're out there getting our customers, we're not just out going about sales. We're going out and we're sharing our hearts. We've been asked, our system is to do favor, help, why, try. Ask our friends and family, would you be willing to do me a favor, help me out, try my service? This is what I've got going on in my life, and you becoming my customer would make a huge difference in that area. Well, one of the things I've been reading lately is Brene Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection. If you haven't got your hands on that book, and if you're looking for a way to work with vulnerability and authenticity while you're doing business, Brene Brown is actually a shame researcher. She's been researching about shame and authenticity and has some amazing insights on that. Her book, The Gift of Imperfection, has been great for me lately. And when we're talking to people about our why and asking for a favor, guys, we're going out there to be vulnerable. But what can happen sometimes is we know we're going to be vulnerable, and so we put a wall up between us and the other person. And we're telling our why, but it's from a wall, and the people that we're talking to aren't connecting. Or we're sharing a why that is so grandiose or so lofty that we don't even know whether we're going to reach it. And we're not able to touch the other person, and they don't really get why we're doing the business. And to some extent, it can sound like a sales call. And we don't want to sales call our friends and family. So one of the things that she mentions in her book that I thought was really helpful, I'm going to take a look at my notes here, is she said most people have shame triggers around being authentic with people, because you think that you're being self-indulgent or self-focused. And we've been taught in this society, you're not supposed to be selfish. You don't want to look narcissistic. And you got these little things going on in your brain saying, well, what if I'm vulnerable? What if people don't like me? But really it takes something to be authentic. It actually, you're going to be audacious, standing, getting outside your comfort zone and telling people, this is what I think, this is what's important to me. And there are cruel people out there. And sometimes people aren't even meaning to be cruel. They're just have never stepped outside their comfort zone. And, it's easy for someone when they're standing in the comfort of their own little cave, their own little life. And if they've never gone outside where there's lions and tigers and dragons, they're sitting back in that cave going, everything's great. And they're making fun of people who are going outside their comfort zone and who are taking risks. So people can be cruel, not meaning to be cruel, but it's just because they've never taken a risk in their life. And you need to know that cruelty will hurt, whether it's true or not, it can hurt. It's just something we run into in this business. But the worst thing that can happen, I want you to know, is if you put that armor up and if you don't care what people think and you go bouldering, whatever, that's not a word. Go like a bull in a china shop, just kind of going through life with people and you have your armor up. That's not going to work either. You really have got to, because you're going to sacrifice there connecting with people and connecting with love and affinity. And so one of the things that Brene Brown says is we're more at risk. There's more risk not putting ourselves out in the world. There's more risk not putting ourselves out in the world because our hopes and dreams will fester within ourselves and they eat away at our worthiness because we know we can be bigger. We know we can think better. We know that even though we're people pleasing, we can get disgusted with ourselves and that can lead to all sorts of issues in our life. So that's just my little plug this morning on being authentic, going out there, being a risk taker, being audacious, and telling people, hey, being a customer is going to make a big difference in my life. This is why. This is what's going on for me. And just know it's going to feel risky. And it's okay, but it's better than not being risky and not being self-expressed. So that's my little commercial this morning on this. As we apply it to customer acquisition, I want you guys to know that a Vivint Home Security is one of the really fascinating services that we have. It's actually something you get to spend a little bit more time educating our customers about because they don't really know they need home security until they have some security. And so we're going out there and we're going to be audacious and mention to them that they may be interested in this service. They may not be asking you for it, but I guarantee you once they get it, they're going to love it. Now, the speaker that we have this morning to bring up to it, I love calling her Miss Vivint because she knows so much about Vivint. She's been the go-to person for us here in Oregon, leading us and helping us understand this service. And she has so many great stories. But you guys got to get that she's a mom of two brilliant boys that love to go every which way all at once. She has an amazing husband. Her and her husband have been leading the Salem marketplace here and just contributing and pouring into us. And every time I hear her train, I learn more about myself and about life and about how incredible people can be because she's always willing to shine bright. So I know that this morning she's going to be joining us with such great fire and ferocity. Oh, I love making up words. And I can't be more honored than to bring to our call this morning is top producing executive team leader, soon to be team coordinator, Miss Megan Leopold. Megan, are you there?
I am here. Are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, and I'm going to change this over to you, and I can hear you on the call loud and clear, and we're going to get you onto the YouTube, and we'll see your beautiful face here.
And I have these earbuds in to hopefully cut down on the echo on my end, so
all right.
Hopefully you can hear me everywhere. Great. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for having me on the call today. I just really value not only Dean and Amy Yeager, but Cheryl and Michael in their partnership and what they've brought to our market. I'm really, really excited about this call because I did not have Vivint, and I'll tell you my story, and I have some great notes here this morning, but I do want to give it back to Cheryl because she knows how uncomfortable I am doing any screen sharing, being on the phone, visually like this. So I am jumping out of my comfort zone today to be able to do this for you guys because I have found so much value in Vivint. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I know Cheryl touched base on that. I'm a mom of two boys. They're extremely active. I have a hunter-gatherer husband who was actually anti-Vivint when we saw ACN. And so I can give you some light on how we decided to get Vivint. But I really was excited about Vivint when I heard at an international or regional training, I don't even know where I heard it, but the average Vivint customer is a 7-year customer. So my ears perked up. I wasn't so much excited about TV. I wasn't so much excited about those 2-year contracts. I was really excited that this was a 3-year contract. However, customers were staying on for 7 years. So 7-year residual income, that's up there with solar energy. Solar energy is a 10-year residual income. So that made me jacked up excited when I heard about 7-year residual. So one of the things that I really, really wanted Vivint for was I walked in on a 2 young boys robbing my house when I was 17 years old. And I never really felt like that affected me. But when I actually got Vivint for myself, found out that, wow, it really did affect me and I could sleep differently. And it was something that's really exciting. What I didn't know was what Vivint was going to bring me besides just that peace of mind piece. So I'm going to dive into some information here today, and really tell you about why I got Vivint and how we were able to do that. So my husband and I saw ACN in 2012, and we were invited by my brother to come to an event at the Hampton Inn here in Salem. We didn't want to go. My husband had some other things happening. We showed up in flip-flops and a tank top. And my husband was on the edge of his seat when he saw the video that we saw. We signed up on the spot, $499 in, and we switched one service over. We were a Dish Network TV customer first and switched to DirecTV, and we saved $500 in doing that. So my husband and I were like, wow, what other services could we get? And I kept bringing up Vivint. I, at the time, had one child, and I thought, man, I would really like to have Vivint at my house. And my husband kept saying, no, we don't need it. We don't have the budget for that. We just spent $500 on this business. And I'm going, okay, well, we just saved $500 on our TV. I wonder how much else we could save to be able to create a budget for what Vivint was going to be able to do for us. So we got our top position qualified and decided to open a second position, which was another $500. But we were able to mark out a budget where I could get Vivint for that second position for us. And that was before any of the technology of TV or the cameras, the automations that they have now. And I was already really excited about what Vivint offered then. Fast forward, because we saved, it was about $1,900 on our services. So I convinced the husband that, dogs weren't just the only option for home security. But what we found once we got it, like I said, was that I was really excited about it, but I was also sleeping better. I was talking about it to my friends. And so we ended up picking up a couple Vivint customers just about me being excited about Vivint. But it also trickled down to our team, and my mom got Vivint. Well, then my stepmom got Vivint, and then my sister actually got ADT, not through me, through just regular ADT. But she was unhappy with ADT. And so here she heard us talking about how we were excited about Vivint. Fast forward, the cameras, the automations came, and I was already excited about Vivint beforehand. So what I'm going to do is tell you about what the automations are, what they look like, and I'm actually going to take you through what that looks like for me in my home, because I think it's really, really important that, just like any service, when you're the customer, you can speak to it from a totally different level than you could if you didn't have the service. And I'll just use an example. When we got started, I had an AT&T phone. My husband and I could not get a flash customer to save our lives. Finally, our team coordinator said, well, how long are you going to keep that AT&T phone? We got frustrated with that. And I was like, oh no, what is she talking about? We canceled our AT&T, we got flash. Now my husband has like 45 points in flash wireless. We both have free cell phones. It's then trickled down to our digital phones where we have those free. But it all started with getting it ourselves. And so I'll tell you that has been the single biggest asset to me getting a customer. And so that part's just so important. So getting started with Vivint is really, really easy. And I'll tell you, I was way overcomplicated in just overthinking it. I'm pulling up a picture here on my phone. And getting started with Vivint, when you have it, the conversations that were created just because of my iPad have been enormous, just because my cell phone have been enormous. So the base plans for Vivint start at $60.99 a month. And that brings you 2 automations through Vivint. And I'm going to share some pictures with Cheryl so she can post them later on maybe the Facebook page, so you can see exactly what those automations look like. But I'm going to speak to them, and then I'll show you the ones that I have in my home. So they all come with your sky panel that goes either in your hallway or where you would like to have that. And what I'll tell you about the sky panel is, if you're wanting to think about safety, and what happens is, you don't want to think about a burglary after it happens. You want to be thinking about it now. You want to be thinking about the person that may be knocking at your door, that you don't want them to see you going to the door, to be able to look to see who it is. So my piece of advice would be, put your panels as close to your bedrooms as possible. If you have like a 4-story house or a 3-story house, and it's going to be a trek to get to the panel, just remember that you can activate and disarm and arm your panel or your connection from your smart device. So I don't ever go into my house and turn my panel off anymore, because I can just do it from my driveway when I pull in from my cell phone. So with a smart device, you get that the app, and you get the panel on your as part of your equipment. And so, as an example, my dog is growling. As an example, you have the panel that's in your house. So if somebody knocks at your door, I just want to give you a hypothetical here. I'm home by myself. I have both my kids in bed, and somebody knocks at my door. Do I want to walk to my door that has a window to go, oh, I'm not home? Or do I want to be able to be in the back by my bedroom, by my kids, to be able to look at the panel, to be able to see who it is, and then to be able to go to the door? So that's the first thing to think of. I've had people install it next to their door, and then they've later been very disappointed because they have a window on their door, and it didn't make sense. And so I'm just going to say that because I have had a customer had to reinstall because they didn't take the advice in the beginning of putting it back by where you might have an emergency. The second thing with where you're putting that panel is that you can activate and deactivate from your cell phone. So the next thing I want to talk about is the automations. Automations there's 2 for the $60.99 plan. And those automations are your doorbell camera, which I love. It's my favorite thing. Your automatic door unlock, your smart thermostat, where you could set your heat or your air conditioning from your phone. You can have indoor cameras. You could pick 2 indoor cameras if you want. And just to speak to the indoor camera, I know a new mom who got Vivint and put the indoor camera in her nursery. She actually saved a couple $100 on getting a I don't even know what they're called anymore, but the camera to be able to look in your monitor in your baby's room. She got it for her indoor camera, so she can actually see the baby when she's not home. She can see how it's sleeping. But what she does is she has her sitter move the camera. It's not a portable, or it is a portable unit, so you could move the camera from location to location, but she uses it for the most part in the nursery. So I thought that was a really good feature. Because those monitors ours was $175 before the monitor was available on Vivint. I paid a Samsung baby monitor $175 so I could see my baby, and I couldn't even do it on my phone. I couldn't do it when I was away from home. I couldn't do it on my tablet. So that's just an exciting thing. There's also the garage door opener, which I think is an amazing feature, because you could have all your doors locked in the house, or open your garage door so the neighbor could put something in the garage. Or if, like, my son left his bike outside the other day, and my neighbor texted me and said, hey, your son's bike's outside. And I was like, oh goodness, can you put it in my garage? I opened my garage door, shut the garage door after he was done. So that was pretty amazing. We also have the Amazon Echo that's available. My sister got the Echo, where you could actually name your Vivint. So I named my Vivint Viv. because I thought about, Viv, I don't know, it was fun. So she's like the queen of the house. I absolutely love her. So you could say, Viv, turn the stereo on to K-Love, and then your stereo could go on. So the Amazon Echo is its whole amazing entity within itself, but it is a feature through automations that we can get through Vivint and ACN. So there is an extra automation. It's called an outdoor camera. And I just want to let everybody know that the outdoor camera doesn't come standard with the automations. My sister just got 2 outdoor cameras put on her house. The activation fee for the outdoor camera is, I believe, $69.99. It's a one-time activation for each camera on the outdoor camera. It's not part of the $60.99 a month. It's an extra $10 a month. So depending on what the customer wants, as my sister wanted, she actually canceled her ADT that I told you about before. She spent $1,500 to cancel her ADT because she was so unhappy with ADT. ADT would not put cameras on her house in Washington. So that's a good thing to know, that Vivint puts outdoor cameras. We have all the permits and everything through Vivint. So she now has 2 outdoor cameras on her house. And she was really excited about that. She actually broke the contract with them to come to us to support me, because she saw all the excitement that I had about Vivint. But it was actually being at a family dinner when somebody walked to my door and I got an alert on my phone that said, there's a visitor at your door, where she said, what is that? And I said, that's my Vivint. I know you know about it. Are you happy with your ADT? My husband and I are on a mission to feed 1,000 kids a month. We're at about 250 kids, and we're really excited. So that why is really, really important. And she did know I was broken in on when I was 17, and she knew all those stories, but she also knew that my husband was so anti-home security. And she was like, well, if you got Ben to get it, then I know we can get Mark to get it. So it was just being excited about that product. So those are the automations that we have. Then there's the sensors and the detectors. So what I want you guys to know about the sensors and detectors is that depending on what the customer wants, you can get that for them. And really, where I want you to know where my whole Vivint relationship started was somebody on my team. Her name's Jennifer Smith, at the Corvallis Market. She ended up building a relationship with somebody at the Vivint booth at an international convention. So because she planted that seed and did that, that's how I became an expert. I met him. I built a relationship with him. But he really talked to me about the equipment that comes free with the installation. And so the equipment that comes free with installation depends on what the customer wants. So all your windows, all your doors will be monitored, whether the system is on or not. And that's one thing that I love. If we're at an international convention, I can actually see when my brother-in-law comes into the house, not by visual, but by showing what timestamps somebody came in and out of the door. I can see when he came in, went outside to feed the dogs, came back in, and left. So those are all monitored by monitors on your doors and windows. There's also fire protection. And I love the fire protection because there's lots of stories about how fire protection has gone off sooner than a fire detector in Vivint automation. So it's an amazing thing. It'll sense a lot of things. I know in one house, they put it in the kitchen, which I don't know what they're thinking, but there was a steam sensor that went off. But just know that fire detection is absolutely amazing. And it's going to be very, very sensitive. Not too sensitive. I had burnt something in the kitchen. My mother-in-law was over. She burnt a quesadilla. It's not that it's so sensitive like that, but it's the kind of smoke that is going to censor that off. So then there's glass breaks, and the glass breaks are awesome. They do a 30 yard radius of the sound of glass breaking. They will set off your system. So I put one of those in each of my boys' rooms because I wanted, if somebody broke the windows, I wanted to be able to hear that. My sister got one on every floor of her house. She has a 3-story house. And so that was something that she was like, hey, Somebody could break a window on definitely the bottom floor, the second floor. But then she, you know, wanted one for her top floor as well. So that was an exciting thing. Looking at these pictures here. There is the medical pendant also that's like a bracelet. It's really exciting. So what I'm finding is people are paying about $50 a month for Lifeline or Life Alert. And we could get whole security automation for $60.99. They could get a doorbell camera or a door unlocker. Say it's somebody who's in a wheelchair. I think this is a great example. They could get a medical alert bracelet. They could get a door unlocker, so they could unlock their door from their bed or from their chair for wherever they are. And they could also have that medical pendant that alerts and somebody's going to be live on their panel right away, which is really awesome. So I talked about, there is a key fob, so you could do a key fob unlock. So like your car has a key fob, you can push buttons. And then there is the appliance control or your smart light sensor. So I've talked about my sister. I'll just keep talking about her plan because she got a really big plan and I was able to get some items thrown in for her. So what we did with her is, since she has a 3-story house, she was really excited to be able to control everything from her bedroom, from her bed, where she could get her on her iPad, see her 2 outdoor cameras, see her doorbell camera, and then see unlock and lock her door. But she can actually turn lights on for every floor of her house from her phone. So I'm going to show you guys how this stuff works. But just know the plans start at $60.99 a month. You get 2 automations for that. Those aren't all the sensors and detectors I just talked about. Those are the ones that are your doorbell camera, your automatic door lock, your smart thermostat, your indoor camera, your garage door opener, and your Echo. So that's the $60.99 a month for 2 of those. Now, depending on how many extra they want to throw in, it's going to go up in $5 increments a month for every automation that they throw in there. So be excited about this. Is really a service that's a la carte for your customer. So we don't have to be the expert, and I definitely wasn't an expert when I got mine, when I got my brother's, but I've been able to just learn as we go. The experts at Vivint have the best customer service that I have ever seen. I spent 20 years in corporate America in customer service and taking care of clients. We had a theme that was just say yes to the customer, and any glitch that your customer has, have them contact you, get on a 3-way call with customer care. I have been blown away by the customer service that we've been able to get from Vivint. I mean, I've just been really, really excited about it. So know that base is $60.99 a month, and then basically a la carte of whatever the customer wants. So I'm actually going to turn my camera around and going to show you some things for my doorbell and from my phone. So see the time here. All right, I will try to talk fast. I see we're running a little short on time, and I don't mean to be long-winded, but I am really, really excited about my Vivint. So I'm going to go to my front door, and I'm going to show you what happens and what it looks like, because amazing stuff. Let me figure out how to take my camera to the other way. Live. All right, my front door. So I actually just got a notification on my phone that there's a visitor detected at my door. And it actually showed me that on my cell phone and here on my phone. So I didn't ring my doorbell, but you can hear what it sounds like because it's through your devices. Amazing. So where I've been able to get my customers is my doorbell went off while I was at my nail salon, and my customer said, wow, what's that? Walk into my panel because I want to show you guys this stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so my panel is in the back by my house. Here is my panel. So you can actually see my front door camera. Okay, so this is amazing stuff. So I can arm and disarm my service. I can open and shut my garage door. I can see my camera, front door camera. I can turn on my light in the front room, which is amazing. And I didn't get the door unlocker, but I did get the garage door opener, which is on my home screen. So I can actually open my garage door from this. It'll beep, and then it's going to open my garage door, which is pretty awesome. This was a feature that was really exciting to me, this cross button. And let me actually close my garage door so my neighbors aren't wondering what's going on. So I don't teach my kids to go to the door. I teach my kids to come to the monitor. We push the home button, we go to the camera button, and we see who's at the door before we even go to the door. So it's been a very nice safety protocol, because I was in the bathroom, the doorbell rang, I was trying to hurry, my kids went to the panel, they didn't go to the doorbell, and just my 2-year-old run out and open the door because I didn't know who it was. So we go here, there's actually a stool down on the floor right here where they can come up and they have access to this, but I'm training my kids to do this. This part, I'm training my son, my older son, my 6-year-old, that this is what we do if we have a fire, if we have an emergency, if we have panic. And literally within 30 seconds of your alarm being activated, you will have a monitor on this line. They will be able to dispatch. So that was really, really important to me, to be able to show my kids, show my son what we need to do if there's an emergency. But I also want to show you how close this is to my bedroom doors. So here's my two boys' doors and my door. So it's right here. And this has been the biggest thing for me. If somebody's at my door, I don't want them to know that I can see them back here. And if we're thinking about safety and we're thinking about being proactive with our system, then we really need to think about where you're putting the monitor. Here, my door, I got a weird hallway here, excuse the mess, but my door is here with a window. And so I really want you guys to really hear me. If the only thing that you hear about the monitor is where you don't want to put your system, you don't want to put it right here next to your door, because then somebody is going to see you at the window looking at your monitor. So let me go back in, put it back to me, put it back to my face. Sorry. Okay, so I hope that helped to be able to see how that works and see how the monitoring works. That was the hugest thing for me. So what I do want you to know is build those relationships with people, because have your phone on all the time. Get Vivint yourself. Like, if I could say anything to you about acquiring a customer, it would be getting Vivint. I have Vivint stickers all over my phone, and people just look at it and go, what's Vivint? People don't know about Vivint yet, and it's up to us to be able to share that. There's a beautiful video that we can have Cheryl share as well on Facebook about a stay-at-home mom. But what I've been able to do, so I reached out to my contact through Vivint last night, and I said, listen, I'm getting on a call tomorrow, and I'm so excited to be able to train on Vivint. I'm going to show my own home system. It's going to be a video where I can show how it actually works. What can you do for me for activation? So are you ready? Hold on tight, because we have free activation today only, just for us. $198 waived activation today through Vivint. Amazing. I'm so excited about that. So get out there, order your Vivint now. When you get Vivint, call your renter's insurance, call your homeowner's insurance. Let them know you have Vivint. Let them know that you need that discount on your homeowners, on your renters. If you get the fire protection, you get an additional discount. So that discount for me, what pretty much paid for over half of what my Vivint system was throughout the year. $198 is what your activation usually is. And so that's waived. And then another thing I want you to know about is if you get 10 points in this month, you get $100 for each additional Vivint customer that you have. So please text me, call me, ask me questions about Vivint. I personally want to build my entire organization and my husband and I's entire organization on Vivint with a 7-year residual income coming in on those customers. I know I'm never getting rid of my Vivint. And once you have it, you're going to realize the same thing. So $198 activation fee waived. It's a 3-point service. It is awesome. So get out there, get your 60 points. It is not that many Vivint accounts to get to 60 points. And so I'm so excited. I'm going to give you my phone number. If anybody wants to text me, call me, ask me questions, I would love to help. 503-551-9152. And I hope I didn't go too long. Cheryl, if you want to take the call back, thank you for giving me this opportunity to train on Vivint. I'm so blessed to be part of the Salem marketplace, and we have RVP Miss Megan Williams coming into town, and I am so excited to be able to have her here and to be able to just blow up this marketplace. So thank you, Cheryl, and I'm going to give the call back to you.